A question I get a lot from people is, what exactly is dialogue? In other words, what does the church teach about what dialogue actually looks like in practice? A lot of people think that when the church refers to dialogue, and especially interreligious dialogue, it means what the word means in everyday speech. That is, people talking to one another. In fact, when most people think of interreligious dialogue, they imagine high-level religious leaders, usually bedecked in the traditional garb of their various stations and offices, or theologians exchanging views, all on deep theological issues. If we want to understand what the church teaches about the nature of interreligious dialogue and its practice, it's critical to note that this kind of high-level dialogue of experts represents only one of four major types or dimensions of interreligious dialogue. As important as the dialogue of experts is, it's not something to which and in which every practitioner of a religious tradition can actively contribute and engage. This is one of the reasons why the church imagines dialogue as having at least three other dimensions. One of these is what the church refers to as the dialogue of social action. This is the dimension of dialogue in which Catholics and people of other religions cooperate based on shared religious and moral values to work for greater social justice and the greater solidarity of the human family. Any member of the faithful, whether she or he be a professional theologian or not, can and should engage in this noble form of dialogue. A third dimension of dialogue is the dialogue of spiritual experience. This is the dialogue in which Catholics share with people of other faiths aspects of their personal life journeys as followers of Christ. The spiritual experiences of prayer, fasting, charity, and the many ways in which we experience the presence and grace of God in our lives usually form the basis of this profoundly transformative type of dialogue. The fourth dimension of dialogue is what the church refers to as the dialogue of life. This is the all-encompassing form of dialogue that comprises all those ways in which people of different religious traditions simply share their lives with one another. When a Jewish man does not hesitate to offer to watch the younger children of his Muslim neighbor while the latter takes her eldest to a doctor's appointment. When a Christian woman, aware that her Hindu co-worker does not eat meat, makes sure that she orders vegetarian fare for the upcoming office retreat. When the Buddhist family that lives down the street from grandma's house visits her in the hospital and shows up at the church for the day of her funeral. When the local Islamic center offers their space to the local Jewish community which just lost its synagogue to a fire. And when in the immediate aftermath of 9/11, a group of rabbis offer to protect the mosque from would-be vandals. When Muslims welcome a Catholic like me into their community and families and offer him friendship, trust, and love in the way I have been so richly blessed. This is all the dialogue of life.